Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is a really big deal. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. What's going on, everybody? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. Today, there was a really interesting incident. The stock market briefly crashed. And why did the stock market briefly crash? Well, it's because there was a major amount of fake news that came out from an AI produced image of the Pentagon burning. Now, those of you who are watching on Dr. Boyce TV, you'll see this image. Those of you who are not watching on Dr. Boyce TV on Instagram, what's going on, everybody? You can go to the YouTube channel. The link's in the bio if you want to see the image. If not, you can just hear me describe it. So I'm going to show this, and as you come in, please say hello, and also let me know that you're B1. Put your B1s in the chat. Let me know what city you're from. And so basically, here's the image. I want you guys to sort of see. I'll make it big on the screen right here. Basically today there was somebody, and I think that it was related to Russia, that released a fake image of the Pentagon burning. They gave the impression that we were in a new 9/11 and that the whole world was coming to an end. And this was all fake. This is all done by AI, but it was picked up by major media outlets. Major news sources picked it up. And so effectively, what was interesting about this is that not only did the whole world freak out. I mean, Twitter just went crazy. I don't know if anybody else saw the story or not. Give me a yes if you saw the story. But not only did Twitter start freaking out, but the stock market started freaking out. Why? Well, because if there is an attack, if anybody remembers 9/11, when the when the towers went down, let me see. I'm going to show you the what happened to the Dow Jones Industrial Average on 9/11. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find it. DJIA. I want to show you guys this chart, and I want you to ask me. I want you to tell me if you can identify 9/11 on this chart, and maybe it'll be. Let me see. Let me look at it and see if I'm talking crazy, or you know what? It's crazy. That's so hard to see. Um, Let me see here. I want to actually show you on 9/11. Okay, let me see. Let me just look it up. Stock market drop on 9/11. And by the way, I know I didn't give a proper greeting, but hi everybody, how you doing? But yeah, here we go. On the first day of the New York Stock Exchange on after September 11th, the Dow Jones fell 7.1%, which at that time was about 684 points. It set a record at the time for the biggest loss in the exchange's history for one trading day. So the Dow literally dropped more on the day of 9/11 than it had dropped at any point in its history. So basically, what was interesting about this is that there was this fake image that was circulated online that gave the impression that the Pentagon was burning down. And when this image was pushed throughout the world, not only did they push it through social media, but they actually created a fake account that looked like it was Bloomberg. So they didn't just push the fake news, they made it appear that the fake news was coming from a reliable source. And as you can see, that little dip right there is where stock prices temporarily plummeted during that time. They dropped by about 0.3%. 0.3%. Now, 0.3% may not seem like very much, but let me put it into context for you. US equity markets are the largest, most liquid, most efficient markets on the entire planet. And that's one of the things that gives the US its economic strength. The total value of US equity markets is somewhere in the neighborhood of about $44 trillion. So 0.3% of $44 trillion, if I'm doing the math right in my head, is somewhere between 100 to $200 billion. So literally a couple $100 billion was lost like that, like evaporated like that because of this fake news. So this is massive. This is a pretty big deal. From what I read, a lot of it appeared to come out of Russia. And so what I'm seeing here is a couple of things. Number one, we're kind of in a new era in terms of Russia being the masters of misinformation. Remember, propaganda, the art of propaganda started mostly in communist Russia. They're the best on earth at making you believe things that are just not true. They do that in every election. But then the United States does the same thing over there. So it's kind of what countries do to each other. The second thing it made me think about is how you can actually make a lot of money from this. Not you per se, not you and I per se, but really that the people that are perpetrating the misinformation, right? So let's say that you push out this fake image, the Pentagon's burning, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. Well, what happens to asset prices? They drop. And then by the time people realize that it was all fake news, the prices go back up. Well, during the time where the prices are dropping, there are people that are rushing in there to buy up everything, right? Buy everything cheap. And this is a continuous conspiracy theory that happens in markets. I don't doubt that it can occur, especially in say crypto, things like that, where you've got these whales that can manipulate prices. And so I could see them, doing things to push the price down, spreading information, or creating, sort of sowing seeds of doubt that will cause the value of an asset to drop. So they can then go buy it while it's cheap, and then when everybody realizes that it isn't that bad, then the price goes up, and then they make money that way. That's an age old trick that's been used for a long time. Now, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe if you haven't done it yet. I'm going to read a little bit of this to you and kind of give you my thoughts on this. It says reports. This is according to the Associated Press. Let me scroll back. Okay, here we go. They said an image of a black smoke billowing next to a bureaucratic looking building spread across social media Monday morning with the claim that it showed an explosion near the Pentagon. The post sent a brief shiver through the stock market and were quickly picked up by news outlets across the U.S. before officials jumped in to clarify that no blast actually took place and that the photo was fake. Experts say that the viral image had all the telltale signs of AI generated forgery. So this is an AI created image. And its popularity underscores the everyday chaos of these now increasingly sophisticated and easy access programs can inflict. A closer look at the facts is that the police and fire officials in Arlington, Virginia say the image is not real. There's no incidents, blah, 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 blah. Despite this is where Russia comes in. This is what's interesting. Despite this, the image and claim was spread by outlets including RT, a Russian government backed media company formerly known as Russia Today. So, a Russian backed media company was one of the first companies to spread this information. It was also widely shared in investment circles, including an account bearing Twitter's signature blue check verification mark that falsely suggested it was associated with Bloomberg News. Quote, reports of an explosion near the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., the Russian state news agency wrote in a since deleted tweet to its more than 3 million followers, the timing of the fake image, which appeared to spread widely just after the U.S. stock. So pay attention to when they released the image. Look at this too. They also released the image right when the stock market opened. Right when the stock market opened. Now, let's go back 22 years. How many of y'all, give me a yes, how many of you remember where you were or what you were doing on the day of 9/11? Anybody remember? Give me a yes if you remember where you were. I was in my dorm. I was in grad school finishing up my PhD, and I was in the dorm. And I remember one of the janitors telling me that one of the towers that fell, that a plane had crashed into it, and it was just sitting there on fire. And at that time, everybody thought it was just an accident. If you remember that, everybody thought it was an accident at first. And then the second tower got hit, and everybody's like, holy crap, like this isn't an accident. And then the first tower fell, and everybody's like, oh my God. Then the second tower fell. By that time, everybody's wondering what's next, right? If we were just kind of on edge. I remember I pulled out my video camera and I recorded the whole day because I knew that was a significant day at that time. I still have that footage. Now, if you go back to 9/11, here's the point I want to connect. When did 9/11 happen? What time? Let's Google search this. What time did the first plane hit the Twin Towers? The first plane hit the Twin Towers at 9:03 a.m. So write that down, 9:03 a.m. And then I'm asked, what time did the second plane hit the Twin Towers? Let's see. Okay, sorry. This one says the second plane was at 9:03. Okay, so approximately 9-ish in the morning, right? Now, I don't know if that was a Monday or what, but they hit around 9-ish, between 9 and 9:30. Well, what time is that? What happens to open up around that time every morning? Well, the New York Stock Exchange, right? That's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that they attacked right at that location at that time, because the Twin Towers, the Wall Street, the New York Stock Exchange is seen as like the Roman Empire of the 21st century, in the 20th century. That's seen as the symbolic and physical and financial epicenter of U.S. power and dominance around the world. They know that if they can destroy the US economic system, they can destroy the United States. That's why, for example, I truly believe this. I just believe, again, you can think what you want about whatever, but I truly believe that there's always been communist infiltration in the country in terms of trying to undermine the capitalist system, which who knows, maybe you disagree with it. I mean, the capitalism is not perfect, it has a lot of issues, right? But ultimately, that desire to undermine capitalism is driven by the fact that they know that if they take away the US's big wallets, they then undermine the ability to build planes and missiles and do all the things that we do around the world to wreak havoc on societies across the globe. Right, the United States is not an angel in all of this, but then again, as Brittany Griner learned, being in the United States isn't may not be as bad as we think. It's hard to say. No, I don't know. It's up to you to make that decision. I'm not here to make it for you, but pay attention. This image was precisely released at 9:30 a.m., right when the stock market opened up. Again, that's not a coincidence. Somebody was trying to make some money. Somebody was trying to disrupt U.S. markets. That was an attack. It was just an information attack. It wasn't a physical attack. So ultimately, what's going to occur is that these attacks are going to occur more and more often. You're going into an election year. Few people get more manipulated during an election year than black people do. The Democrats are playing you. They're trying to pimp you. The Republicans are basically telling you how abusive the Democrats are, so they're pimping you too. The black churches are going to have these bootleg pastors trying to pimp you and manipulate you. You got the fake black leaders on TV constantly trying to manipulate you. It's going to be very important that you learn how to dig up your own information and research things for yourself, and not believe things right when they're put in front of your face, right? Maybe get a second and third and fourth confirmation. Maybe think about it. Maybe try to go to the original source. Like during the pandemic, a lot of people did something I did not do. My wife and I did not do this. But then again, we're college professors. So maybe we're going to think about things a little bit more. I don't know. But we did not go and just believe everything Dr. Fauci had to say. We didn't just believe what Joe Biden was saying. We don't vote. We didn't vote for Biden or Trump, and neither one of us did. But we didn't sit there and say, "Oh, well, you want us to go get the jab? Okay, we'll go do. Yeah, what else you want us to do, Uncle Joe?" We don't do that. You know what we did? We would watch C-SPAN press conferences to hear what people actually said. We didn't want to hear what Fox News is saying that they said. We want to hear what they actually said. We don't want to hear what MSNBC's interpretation was because they're bought and paid for too. So ultimately, it's hard to believe and trust almost any sources out there. So you really got to learn how to trust yourself. Okay. That's my 2 cents. Or at the very least, if there are opposing viewpoints on a perspective, I encourage you, hear both sides. Again, even if you use MSNBC and Fox, maybe that could be a good way to get both perspectives. Watch both. Hear what Rachel Maddow says, then go hear what, I would say Tucker Carlson, but he's gone now. Or, maybe not Sean Hannity. He's so annoying, but whatever Fox News has to say. I personally think that you can gain some perspective there. At the very least, you can learn what sort of propaganda is being put out there. I have family, half my family listens to MSNBC, the other half of my family listens to Fox. And I am just utterly fascinated by how they will just literally repeat like robots the talking points they're picking up on these news shows, and it's sickening to me. It's just, again, as a person who believes in freedom of expression, freedom of thought, freedom of speech, and all that, it just bothers me a lot. So you're gonna get pimped from inside the country. You're gonna get manipulated and pimped from outside the country. So the only way to not get pimped is to stand up for yourself and get your own information. So be very careful. Don't panic. Anytime the stock market moves. Generally speaking, most indicators are saying that next year is supposed to be a good year for stocks. But even if it wasn't going to be a good year, you should be a long-term investor. Okay. And that's what I tell all the students in the Black Business School. And by the way, in case you don't know, you can join the Black Business School for free. Don't let anybody make you think that you have to pay money to be in the Black Business School. There are some things that cost money because we can't do everything for free. You can't run a business on nothing. However, we don't turn anybody away. And I guarantee you this: you sign up at the Black Business School, you learn more from us for free than you learned from whatever university charged you $100,000 for that bachelor's degree that you probably don't even use. That's how good we are at what we do. We have the first ever Black financial therapy department where we work with the best therapists in the Black community to explore the psychological barriers to building Black wealth. We're good at that. We are scientists at this. We've solved the wealth gap problem. That's not even a problem for us. The problem is getting people to listen and implementation. That's the only problem. But the solution is easy. It's very easy to take a poor family and make them wealthy wealthy within one generation. So feel free to hang out with us in the Black Business School. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Once again, my new book is called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. Go look at the reviews on Amazon. 90% of the reviews are 5-star. It's a very good book. It'll help your family a lot. Also, we're going to, someone says, where can I find this? Click the link in the bio. If you're on Instagram, click the link in the bio, and there's information right there. If you are not on Instagram, just go to my website, boycewatkins.com, and you can find plenty of stuff there. Also, last but not least, don't forget the All Black National Convention is happening October 20th in Atlanta at the Marriott Marquis Hotel. If you'd like to learn more about the convention, go to allblacknationalconvention.com. We have spaces for attendees, for vendors, sponsors. If you have a Black-owned business and you want us to promote you, we can do that. If you want to be on a panel, you can apply to be a panelist. We want to get our panelists from our community, so feel free to apply. And it's going to be in October. It's going down. It's going to be amazing. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for the kind words, Black Wealth 04. I appreciate you. I'm going upstairs. I'm going to hang out with my beautiful wife, and I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you soon. Take care now. Peace.